4 months and 3 weeks later, everyone must take final exams for Class D, Math. Find x, log times x to the power of 2 minus 4. Find the derivative of the function x to the power of 3 plus 2x times sin times x. Graph and identify features. Y equals 2 to the power of x minus 1 minus 3. Solve. X plus 2y plus 3z equals 5. 2x minus y plus z equals 1. 3x plus y minus 2z. Simplify. Cos times 2x times sin times x plus sin times 2x times cos times x. Factor the polynomial x to the power of 4 minus 5x to the power of 2 plus 4. Find the domain and range of function. Function times x equals the square root of x to the power of 2 minus 9. 8 sigma times f times x divided by n. Existentialism. What would you do if you were God? Write a 5-paragraph essay describing your conditions on afterlife, nature, and judgment. Linguistic. Write a paragraph describing your day in Japanese using hiragana, katakana, and kanji. After lunch, they had to play Moonlight Sonata at the best possible imitation. Spatial. Draw a 4-dimensional shape. Logical. Score at least a 2,500 ELO against the computer at chess. Interpersonal. Use manipulation tactics to get the other person to reveal their answers for the previous classes. Intrapersonal. Question your own performance and ruminate on how you can improve. Naturalist. Go outside and identify non-poisonous spiders, then pick them up. Bodily kinesthetic. Run 10 miles in 80 minutes, sharp. The class finally ended. 13 felt awful. Supper revived him. He was not confident in his performance today. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Whammy announced that 20 students failed and will be sent home. They grinned and took their time, calling out the numbers that failed in a suspenseful manner. 13 felt adrenaline and thanked God his number was not called after the 20 students were announced. Yesterday, one student was bitten by a poisonous spider after touching the wrong one and received urgent medical attention. Obviously, he failed. Mrs. Whammy drove the failures to their hometown while Mr. Whammy stayed watch. The pupils received a 1-week vacation, then Class C began. In math, they studied Algebra 3, business statistics, trigonometry, calculus, etc. For existentialism, they went from being asked basic questions on religion and sociology to being asked to describe in great detail what they would do if they were a politician or a deity. For linguistic, they went from learning basic phrases and letters to writing intermediate paragraphs. For music, they went from learning keys to copying Beethoven songs and other musical prodigies. For spatial, they had to draw 4th-dimensional shapes instead of basic geometrical shapes. For logical, they learned shogi and shuangqi or go to play against the computer or classmate at high difficulty. For interpersonal, instead of small talk and casual chatting, they had to use cold reading, hot reading, double speak, and double think to read the other person, not just talking, which felt creepy. For intrapersonal, instead of reflection on the day, they had to ruminate on life choices. For naturalists, they had to build survival tools instead of just exploring and identifying. For bodily kinesthetic, they had to run 10 miles, lift heavy weights, do extreme calisthenics, or spar for 10 minutes. Also, classes took place between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Class C was much harder than 13 thought it would be. Math had insane branches you don't even see in most colleges. He was nervous. 7 looked even stronger and meaner than last time, and he still had to spar with him every time, getting his ass kicked. He didn't know why he wasn't allowed to choose partners, and the teachers refused to answer. The thought of Class B scared him, let alone Class A and, God forbid, Class S. Of course, 13 has gotten a lot stronger and more skilled at martial arts, but 7 made twice as much progress somehow, despite seemingly training the same amount, which intimidated him. Furthermore, some of the topics began to merge. Spatial and logic all became spatial logic. Music and existential became one as they had to come up with philosophical lyrics. Interpersonal and intrapersonal merged to become social quotants, or SQ, with 10 classes becoming 7, as well as 2 hours being added. 7 more subjects were added to the curriculum. They are formal science, humanities, anatomy, social science, speed reading, martial arts, and natural science. Not to be mistaken for naturalist. For formal science, they had to learn HTML coding and the computers. For humanities, they studied human cultures through philosophy, literature, and art. For anatomy, they research the human body with textbooks and locate organs and pressure points within themselves. For social science, they observed patterns in human behavior through psychology, economics, and sociology, using data collection and analysis. For speed reading, they practiced reading speeds on the computer, starting with 100 words per minute or 100 WPM. Each student was expected to increase their WPM by 100 at the end of the class, starting on 100 on Monday and ending up on 500 on Friday, on the first week of Class C. At this rate, they should be able to read 2,000 words per minute by the end of the month, then 10,000 words per minute by the end of the semester. For martial arts, they practice boxing, blocking drills, dodging drills, and footwork. They'll learn other styles later. Finally, for natural science, they examine nature using chemistry, physics, geology, biology, zoology, and laws of nature through the use of the scientific method. Mr. Whammy. Now to learn the ABCs of quotants, starting with AQ. Adversity quotient is to withstand and thrive through challenges. Behavioral quotient is insight into one's behavior, patterns, and effects on others. Cultural quotient is sensitivity and adaptability to diverse cultural contexts. Decency quotient is ethical and respectful treatment of others. Emotional quotient is awareness, control, and expressions of emotions. Financial quotient is understanding and managing financial matters effectively. Gender quotient is respect for gender diversity and dynamics. Health quotient is commitment to physical, mental, and emotional well being. Intelligence quotient is logical reasoning and problem solving. Judgment quotient is making sound and fair decisions. Kinesthetic quotient is mastery of physical movement and coordination. Leadership quotient is inspiring and guiding others toward a shared goal. Moral quotient is integrity and adherence to ethical principles. Networking quotient is building and maintaining meaningful relationships. Operational qualification is technical expertise and practical application of skills. Positivity quotient is maintaining optimism and resilience. QQ for curiosity is the desire to learn and explore new things. Risk intelligence is assessing and managing risks wisely. Social quotient is navigating and succeeding in social settings. Time quotient is effective time management and prioritization. UQ for perception and adaptation is recognizing and responding to changes and challenges. Vitality quotient is energy and enthusiasm for life and activities. Will intelligence is determination and persistence towards goals. XQ for experience is wisdom gained from personal and collective life experiences. YQ for existential intelligence is contemplating life's deeper meaning and purpose. ZQ for natural and acquired abilities is harmonizing innate talents with learned skills. There are also other variations to a few of these letters. CQ could also mean creative quotient, which is generating new ideas, thinking outside the box, and innovative problem solving. DQ could also stand for digital intelligence, meaning a combination of cognitive, emotional, and social skills to adapt to and meet the challenges of the digital world. It could also mean daring intelligence. KQ could also mean the capacity for empathy, compassion, and kindness, which is kindness quotient. PQ also stands for practical intelligence, which means to adapt to, shape, or select a new environment to meet one's goals. Mrs. Whammy, I hope you are all writing this down in your notes, as all of these will be essential in your success in these classes. There are 3 other terms my partner forgot to mention. TQ could also mean technology quotient, meaning to be skilled in technology. Then there is transitional intelligence, which is to navigate transitions effectively. RQ could also mean relationship intelligence. It is to understand and navigate interactions with others to build strong, productive relationships by recognizing patterns, adapting behavior based on individual needs, and making the most of each interaction to achieve positive outcomes. To build and maintain health connections with people, whether in personal or professional settings, also to discern if someone should be part of our lives and what place they should occupy, then align them accordingly. These 34 terms will remain on the chalkboard until the end of class, so write them down while you can. This lesson took place in social science. The classes in this semester were less consistent than Class D, meaning each week in Class C is a jump in difficulty, making it harder than the previous week, while the weeks in Class D rarely got tougher. So keeping up nowadays is very strenuous. On the final day of Class C, they had to take an exam that decided their potential promotion to Class B, Math. I'm not going to read all of this, so just take a good look at all of this. This is what they are working on. Pretty easy, right? Pause if you need to. And then some of this. Explain the 6 laws of quantum physics. Existential. Describe the meaning, purpose, and evolution of your existence and the existence of 3 other people in your life, as well as the influence that religion, politics, and social dynamics have on the lives of you 4. Include the trajectory you see everything requested above will take on the remainder of your life. Write a 20-paragraph essay in maximum detail. Linguistics. Rewrite your existential essay in Japanese using hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Musical. Play 10 Beethoven songs in chronological order using the piano or the guitar. Logical, spatial. Draw a 5th-dimensional shape and describe the geometrical formulas involved with it. SQ. Use clues and answers from your peers to unlock lost memories the other person has. Then use manipulation to learn one of their secrets. Naturalist. Dig through a bowl of herbs and mushrooms to consume the healthy ones and discard the poisonous ones. KQ. Run 20 miles in 140 minutes. Formal science. Use HTML and CSS formats to type a 10-paragraph essay describing the chemical formulas of THC and CBD. Humanities. Write a 20-paragraph essay describing the language, politics, religion, and civics of the Roman Empire and the empire's collapse. Write this in Japanese using hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Anatomy. Locate 361 acupuncture points in your body. Social science. Explain how the Byzantine Empire was different in its government, politics, economic strategies, and social customs in a 20-paragraph essay. Describe its pros and cons compared to the Roman Empire. Speed reading. Read and comprehend 10,000 words per minute for 30 minutes. Martial arts. Attack at least 30 pressure points on your sparring partner. Natural science. Write a physics formula describing the speed and power of predatory animals in the wilderness around us. 13's head hurt just from the math test, and following tests were very painful and intimidating. After class, he cried and prayed that he would pass. Some of the content tested today were not taught in class because they were expected to read the dozens of novels in their rooms to expand on the subjects, with no clue on which book lessons would become relevant. 13 usually only read the detective novels as they are one of the only forms of entertainment, as mild as they were. He only read some of a few academic books if he was having too much trouble from a class. He regretted not reading more of them. The detective novels are always irrelevant. The next day, on Saturday, the teachers again listed the numbers that failed, reveling in the class's fear and anxiety. 20 students failed. Once again, 13 was not among them. Thank God. Mr. Whammy drove them home while Mrs. Whammy kept watch. 60 students remain. They had 1 week vacation, then returned on Monday. Class B begins. Classes now take place from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Dinner was moved to 7:30 p.m. Again, classes were added and merged. Let's see. Math and logical spatial combined to make quantitative logical spatial. SQ merged with linguistics as they had to socialize in either Japanese or Spanish, Spanish only being taught by a book in the dorms. Martial arts and KQ fused to become total physical education, as they had to spar before and after high-intensity workouts, as well as learn Taekwondo and Muay Thai, receiving leg muscle tears from Taekwondo and multiple hairline fractures from Muay Thai. Anatomy, formal science, and natural science combined to make anatomical, naturally formal science, as they had to learn the anatomy of humans, plants, animals, and fungi, using biological and physical math formulas. Also learning the anatomy and physical math formulas. Also learning the anatomy of computers, how they compare to organic anatomy, and typing the coded articles on the merged subjects. Humanities, social science, and speed reading fused to make turbo social humanities science, as they had to read historical sociology at over 10,000 words per minute. They are expected to read the material at 30,000 words per minute by the end of the semester, including existential music. That makes 6 classes so far. New topics were added to the curriculum: economics, engineering, agriculture, culinary arts, forensics, computer hacking, theology, chemistry, quantum physics, toxicology, smithing, astronomy, archaeology, and architecture. For economics, they studied different economic systems such as capitalism, socialism, communism, Marxism, fascism, and Confucianism, as well as learning different investment practices like Roth IRA, 401k, passive income, Bitcoin farming, tax returns, etc. For engineering, they learned all the parts of a car, truck, jet, helicopter, and motorboat, and worked on them. For agriculture, they worked on the crops and farm animals. For culinary arts, they made burgers, burritos, sushi, pastries, pizza, pasta, and many other dishes. For forensics, they measured the age of animal corpses, bodily fluids, fingerprints, and unknown substances. For computer hacking, they made firewalls, viruses, Trojan horses, worms, links, and websites. They had to make a mix of safe sites and traps, then navigate each other's links and try to infect the other computer for class. For theology, they had to read the Bible, the Quran, Torah, Vedas, Buddhist texts, Tao Te Ching, and many other ancient writings. Then write their interpretations on them with hundreds of paragraphs. For chemistry, they had to brew dozens of antibiotics, antivirals, antifungals, poisons, food condiments, and vehicle fluids. Then write the organic chemistry formulas for each ingredient, combination of ingredients, and finished products. For quantum physics, they had to use particle accelerators and write formulas predicting the motions of each type of subatomic particle. For toxicology, they had to pee in cups, defecate in bowls, draw blood vials, spit in tubes, puke in jars, and test hair strands to measure the percentage of any and all drugs, vitamins, or medications someone or themselves took. For smithing, they had to craft farming tools, swords, and guns from the ore and lava. For astronomy, their homework was to identify constellations and planets for navigations from their rooms through the window, then use them as puzzles to map out the constellations and planets seen across the globe for class, studied from a textbook, then make predictions of their positions as well as the phases of the moon for the next decade. For archaeology, they had to measure the age of the buildings on campus, age of tools, and the age of ruins with data on them from around the world. Finally, for architecture, they had to dig a foundation, make planks from logs, make bricks from clay or cement, make girders from ore, make roads from tar, make glass from burning sand in a furnace, make drywall for caulk, and caulk's not made of drywall, so they have to get creative. Make rubber from tree sap to use for wire production, produce mortar, and create a house from all this equipment. And that concludes the second episode. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.